Hello everyone. The words of Torah that I'm about to share should serve as a continued Refuah Sheleimah for Shira Bat Devorah Leah. This week's Parshas Emor begins, Emor al Kohanim b'nei Aharon. Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu, tell the Kohanim, the sons of Aaron, va'amru elav, and say to them, lenefesh lo yitzma ba'amav, that you shouldn't come into contact with a dead body. Now the Gemara Maseches Yevamos that Rashi quotes on our Parsha asks a very simple question. Why are there two expressions of Amira? Why does the word Amar appear two times in this pasuk? Emor al Kohanim, say to the Kohanim, and then Va'amru aleihem, and say to them, we get it, you're talking to the Kohanim. So the Gemara in Yevamos, again that Rashi quotes in our Parsha, says the following. Lahazhir hagadolim ala ketanim. The reason why there are two expressions of Amir, two expressions of saying, of speaking, of talking, is because the first expression is to teach the Kohanim, you cannot come into contact with a corpse. You should not come into contact with a dead body. But the second expression of Amir, the second expression of speaking, is for the children, is for the adult Kohanim to teach the young Kohanim, you really shouldn't come into contact with a corpse, you really shouldn't come into contact with a dead body. But the question is, of all the places in the Torah, of all the potential mitzvos to teach children about, of all the potential averos to warn children about, why is this the particular situation where the Torah chooses lahazir gedolim ala ketanim, make sure that young Kohanim don't come into contact with a corpse? What about when it comes to Shabbos? Lahazir gedolim ala ketanim, make sure that children guard Shabbos. Or when it comes to Shatnez, make sure children don't wear wool and linen together. There are so many other opportunities, mitzvos, and potential averos that we could teach children about. Why is it that specifically when it comes to the beginning of our Parshas Emor, in the discussion of not coming into a contact with a mace with a dead body, lahazir gedolim ala ketanim, to be warned, young Kohanim, young children, don't come into contact with a corpse. So Rabbi Yisachar Frand quotes one of the former Rosh Yeshiva from Ner Yisrael, Rav Yaakov Weinberg, who explains the following idea. He says, very often in education, whether you're a parent, whether you're an educator, most likely if you're a parent, hopefully you are also an educator, there's something called the everybody else effect, where you say to a child, you shouldn't do this or you should do that, and the child responds, well, everybody else can do that and everybody else can't do that, and they sort of have this feeling like, why should I be different? Why should I do something that somebody else doesn't do? Why should I act in a way that other people don't have to follow? And the truth is, says Rav Weinberg, this is the exact opportunity. When you have a child who's told by one of his parents, you shouldn't come into contact with a dead body. And the child's like, what do you mean everybody else can do it? Everybody else, all the Yisraelim, all the Levium, they can go to the funeral. They can play stickball in the cemetery. They can do it. It's not fair. What about me? What about me? And Rabbi Weinberg explains that this is exactly the opportunity when a parent can teach his or her child you're right. You have a certain level of kedusha. You have a certain level of holiness. You're a Kohen. You're a mamlachas Kohanim. V'god kadosh. You're someone who has a certain sense of infusion of holiness, of kedusha, a certain mission and purpose that only you can fulfill and that only you can accomplish. And it's true, everybody else may be different. Everybody else may be allowed to become contaminated and defiled by a dead body, but you're a Kohen. You're special and you're different. And the truth is, Rabbi Friend continues and explains that it's not only true about Kohanim, but it's true about each and every one of us as well. That very often we look around at the world and we say, well, they can eat that, and they can talk like that, and they can do this, and they can do that. And as Jews, as Mamlachas Kohanim, as Hashem's chosen people, His children, Banim Atem, L'Hashem Elokeichem, Hashem's children, Hashem's nation, it's true that sometimes we can't do certain things, and it's true that we sometimes have to do certain things that other people don't have to do. But at the end of the day, it's critical for each and every one of us to think about our lives and to realize the fact that we're an or lagoyim, a light unto the world, the impact that we can have on the lives of others, the holiness that our lives are infused with. And even when we have that thought, even when we have that hesitation and that feeling, why can't I do this on Shabbos? Why can't I eat that food? Why can't I wear that article of clothing? For us to realize that we're part of something so much greater than ourselves, and for us to understand and recognize that at the end of the day, there's a sense of holiness, of purpose, and of mission that HaKadosh Baruch Hu infused into the very essence of our lives and the very essence of what it means to be a Jew. And perhaps as I continue to share these words of Torah in honor of Refuah Sheleimah for Shira Bat Devorah Leah, may each and every one of us think to ourselves and about ourselves, how do I represent the Ribono Shel Olam in the world? Another pasuk in this week's parsha, V'nikdashti b'soch b'nei Yisrael. Do I make a Kiddush Hashem? Do I bring the light of the Ribono Shel Olam into the world? It's true that other people are doing different things, and sometimes I may have a temptation to do that or to do that, to eat that or to wear that. But at the end of the day, it's so critical and so important for each and every one of us to look at our lives and realize the power and the responsibility that we have as Jews, the power and the responsibility that we have as Hashem's chosen people, as Hashem's nation, and as Hashem's children. And certainly Joey and Shira are people who live their lives with that mission, who live their lives with that purpose, and may each and every one of us follow suit, and hopefully in so doing, bring a complete Refuah Sheleimah for Shira Bat Devorah Leah. Good Shabbos.